There's an old, simple habit that used to keep people calm. Almost nobody practices it now, and it might be exactly what your mind needs. It wasn't loud, it wasn't clever, it didn't cost anything. People used to do it without thinking, the way you brush your hair or lock a door. It happened in kitchens, on porches, at windows. It happened while the tea was steeping. It happened while the light was changing outside. They called it different names in different times. Some called it sitting, some called it thinking, some just called it a moment. But underneath all those quiet words, it was the same thing. They were letting the day settle. They were doing nothing on purpose, not scrolling, not planning, not fixing, just being in the room they were already in, and somehow that was enough to steady them. You've probably felt the absence of this, that low hum under your day that never quite turns off, the sense that even when you're resting, you're not really resting, because your mind is still somewhere else, 3 steps ahead, 2 conversations back. There's a name for what people used to do, though the name matters less than the habit itself. It was the habit of pausing without a reason, a small, unhurried gap in the day where nothing was required of you, where you weren't producing or responding or improving. You were simply there, breathing in your own life, and that gentle nothing is what your mind is quietly starving for. Somewhere along the way, the world got faster than the human nervous system was built to handle. Every free second grew a tale of notifications, updates, and small tasks to catch up on. The waiting rooms filled with screens, the bus stops filled with screens. Even the sky, when we look up, is often through a lens. There's nothing wrong with any of that on its own. It's just that the small pauses are gone, and your mind needs those pauses the way your lungs need the space between breaths. Think about the last time you sat still for even 3 minutes without reaching for something, not meditating, not journaling, not fixing, just sitting. If it felt strange, that isn't a flaw in you. That's how out of practice most of us are with our own presence. The old habit was this: to let a small moment be a whole moment, to finish your tea before starting the next thing, to watch the water boil instead of checking your phone while it does, to look out the window on the walk instead of down at a screen. Small, ordinary pauses done on purpose, not as productivity, not as self-improvement, just as living. And here's the part that changes everything. Peace was never a place you had to travel to. It was a texture woven into slow moments, the kind we now rush past without noticing. Your grandmother probably knew this without ever explaining it. She'd stand at the sink after dinner, hands warm in the water, looking at nothing in particular. She wasn't wasting time. She was letting her nervous system catch up to her day. That was the habit, that quiet, unimpressive, deeply healing habit. You can still do it. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just waiting for you, patient as ever in the middle of your ordinary day. And no, it doesn't require a cushion, an app, or a special hour of the morning. It only asks that you stop for a breath or two in the middle of an ordinary moment. The kettle boiling, the elevator rising, the dog stretching on the rug, the last light of the afternoon on the wall. You pause. You notice the weight of your body in the chair. You let yourself actually be there for once, without leaving through your phone or your worries. That's it. That's the whole practice. No teacher required. No perfect posture. No incense unless you like it. And your mind, which has been sprinting all day, finally gets to slow down and stand beside you, not ahead of you, not behind you. Just here, quietly, where you are. There's something worth knowing about what happens when you do this. Your body doesn't distinguish between a small pause and a long one, not really. Even 30 seconds of true stillness sends a quiet signal down your nervous system, a signal that says, we're safe here, we can rest for a beat. Nothing is chasing us, and your shoulders lower, just slightly. Your jaw softens, just slightly. The tightness behind your eyes eases, just slightly. None of it is dramatic. None of it is instant transformation. There are no fireworks, no revelations, no proof to show anyone afterward. But layered across a day, across a week, those slightlies become the difference between a life that feels frantic and a life that feels livable. You don't need more time. You need more moments treated as moments. That's a different thing entirely. And it's the thing that changes a life from the inside out. There's a reason this habit faded. Stillness feels unproductive in a world that measures your worth in output. Sitting quietly can feel almost embarrassing, like you should be doing something with your hands, your phone, your mind. But that quiet discomfort you feel in stillness isn't a sign that stillness is wrong. It's a sign of how long you've been running. The body needs a little while to trust that it's allowed to stop, that nothing bad will happen if you're not producing for a minute. Give it that while. You might notice at first that your mind gets louder when you sit still. That's normal. It's like walking into a quiet room and suddenly hearing the fridge you never noticed was humming. The noise was always there. You just couldn't hear it over the movement. Let it hum. Don't try to fix it. Don't argue with it. It's just catching up to the silence, the way your eyes adjust to a dim room. Just breathe and let the room be the room. After a few breaths, something shifts on its own. The thoughts don't disappear, but they stop pulling at your sleeve so hard. And there, in that small softening, is the peace you've been chasing everywhere else. It was never far. It was just under the noise, waiting for the volume of your life to drop for one honest moment. There's one more thing worth saying about this old, gentle habit. It doesn't accumulate the way we're taught to think good things do. You can't stockpile stillness. You can't do a lot of it on Sunday and coast through the week. It only works in the moment you actually practice it, which is inconvenient and also a kind of grace, which is, in a way, a beautiful thing. It means it's never too late to begin and never too far behind to catch up. The next quiet moment is always available. The next breath is always the doorway. You are never more than one small pause away from coming home to yourself. That's the promise of this habit, and it has kept its promise for centuries in every quiet kitchen and every slow evening across the world. So if today feels heavy or scattered or too full, you don't need a new plan. You just need a small, unimpressive pause done on purpose. Put the phone down for the length of the tea. Watch the steam curl. Feel your feet on the floor, the small weight of them, the small warmth. Let the day be the day without you managing it for a minute. It's such a quiet act. It looks like nothing from the outside. But inside, something old and wise in you exhales and remembers. This is how humans used to steady themselves. This is how they lived long, gentle lives inside difficult times. Not by escaping the world, but by letting themselves fully arrive in it, one small pause at a time. You can do this tonight before you sleep. Sit on the edge of the bed for one full minute before you lie down. Don't do anything. Don't plan tomorrow. Don't replay today. Don't rehearse a conversation you'll never actually have. Just sit and let the room hold you for 60 seconds. You might be surprised how much of your life you've been skipping over between the big moments. How much softness lives in the small ones you never stopped to hold. The small ones were always the ones doing the healing. If this reflection softens something in you tonight, stay a little longer with us. Breathe with me in the comments. One word, one feeling, whatever's true for you right now. And if these quiet reflections feel like they belong in your evenings, you're welcome here anytime. There's another one waiting whenever you're ready. Another slow exhale. Another gentle return to yourself. For now, though, let this be enough. You don't need to fix anything before you rest. You don't need to understand everything before you close your eyes. You just need to pause here in this ordinary moment and let the old quiet habit do what it has always done. Steady you, soften you, bring you home. Good night, gentle one. Rest well.